Good morning. Like always, we'll wait for a couple of people to trickle in. The main topic for today is going to be two things. One, partnering with Badon in a construction company, and two, maybe doing some province Philippine interviews, maybe one a week or something like that. We'll see what everybody says. Doobie doobie. Hi, hi, hi. Got a couple of topics today, so we'll wait till a few people come around. It's a little bit early, I guess. Not too awful bad. It probably would be better if I waited until a little later, so it's more towards the evening time in the US. The problem is that's the time where I'm working, so it doesn't work out too good. And it's going to take, I have to grout that shower today, and it's going to take all day, just like the last one. Good morning. Mr. Tom. Yeah, it's a pretty good morning. I slept pretty good last night, and the mountains are looking kind of foggy today, but pretty good. At some point, I'll be able to go up on this top deck of the parking area and really have a good view. All right, so there's a few people in here now, so I'll go ahead and start with the topics. So the main topic is going to be Badon, her cousin that is in construction, has proposed to me to partner with him and basically build houses for foreigners. Now, the problem I see is this. There's not that many foreigners in this area. And I've told him that. And he said he would be willing to travel wherever. I don't know. I mean, obviously we can build a house in 6 months or less, depending on the size and complexity and all that. So the issue I have is, if I travel to, let's say, Dumaguete area or something like that, I would have to build like maybe a little, like a 12-foot by 8-foot building, and I would have to live there for 6 months, which, I mean, I'm not opposed to that, but I don't know. I don't know how all the details would work out. And I don't know that I have a large enough reach on YouTube. I know that Mr. Armstrong back in the day got quite a few clients. But I mean, he was building like super cutting edge for the Philippines, like AAC blocks. And I mean, I'm not opposed to using those methods. It's just that stuff like that is going to add a lot of time to a build because it's not normal here. Well, in Mindanao, there's only one place to get AAC blocks, and that is I believe there's a distribution or a factory for them in Davao. That's about 10 or 12 hour drive from here. House is looking good. Paint the exterior. Well, at some point, yes. At some point, yes. Right now, my main focus is just getting moved in here. So I'm not worried at all about, they haven't even plastered the outside. I'm just focused on getting the inside done so we can move in. So, I mean, while I'm not opposed to partnering with him and building, because, you know, I can tell that he knows what he's doing, and he has been an OFW before. He was in construction in Saudi Arabia for a few years. So I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know that there would be like enough business, you know. How much does it cost to make a house like this in your area? Like my house? A house like mine from start to finish would be, depending on your choices on the inside, it could be as low as $22,000 US or as high as $30,000 US. My name is Tim. A bathroom remodel. Well, there's not very many people here in the Philippines that do remodels. There's just not. Yeah. I don't know. The thing about a construction company, I'll say it over and over again, I just don't know that there's enough business, especially right here where I am. Top 2 best life advice for the youth. Oh my God. The number 1 would be learn the power of compounding interest. Schools are not teaching our children how to use money to make money. Oh my God. If I could go back and tell my younger self, just think about it. Not even like a teenager, but if you put $10,000 into a high yield savings account at 25 years old and invested that into the S&P 500 and just rolled your earnings into more investing, just compounding your interest and everything, you would have like $2.2 million at 65 with a $10,000 investment at 25. You don't need the government for a retirement plan. You don't have to depend on other people to take care of you when you're older. Everyone needs to teach their children now about financial responsibility and using money to make money. Money is a fake thing. Money is a made-up thing that people have created to exchange goods. And it's a tool. It's a tool that you can use to earn more. Let's see, what would the other one be? The other one would be, don't get married under the age of 30. No matter what. If you love a person, you can just stay with them. You can live with them for 30 years without being married. Being married doesn't do anything but lock you into a bullshit situation. Or the possibility to be trapped in a crappy situation. There's not really remodels here. People don't remodel. Mine was like 40,000. Yeah, 3 floors. 3 floors will do it, because when you go multiple story, you're adding cost to even the ground foundation. You got to use bigger beams. So instead, like for example, this center beam that runs this span here, because it was a longer span, it had to be a larger beam. So instead of like these beams are 20 cm by 20 cm, but that one up there had to be 25 by 20. And you have to use larger rebar. You got to use 16 mm instead of 12. So every single part of the build is going to cost a little bit more when you go multiple story. Mountain area with a good road. That's the number one thing. That's the reason I agreed to go ahead and build up here. That and the free land didn't hurt. But if there was like one of those crappy, muddy, slippery mountain pass type trails to get up here, I wouldn't have built up here. I love the fact that from my front door all the way to wherever, to Polog, to town, wherever you want to go, from my front door, it's concrete and smooth all the way. Yeah, 50 years old does seem like a long time away, but if you can just teach your children to think about life in a different way, honestly, $10,000 seems like a lot of money to a lot of people, and I understand that it is, but most of us have had opportunities in our 20s where we had $10,000. Whether it be because we had children and got a big tax refund check or whatever. I know that when I was in my 20s, we got an income tax return one time that was $12,000. So that's free money from the government, not free, taxpayer money. Taxpayer money distributed by the government that was free. And if I was smart, I would have just put that into, like I said, a high yield savings and rolled it into the S&P 500. So there's opportunities for young people, even though it is a little more difficult now. He wasted it. Well, I'll be honest with you. Not all, some. Some of his knowledge was, I could tell, accumulated by just doing research online. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But, you could tell that he had done concrete before, and he had done certain things before, but, YouTuber who wears the toilet seat on his head. Toilet seat? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't wear a toilet seat on my head, no. Greet my wife. I thought I had done that before, Manolin. Manolin is so greedy for the happy birthdays. Happy birthday. Greetings from Turkey. Thank you for this valuable. I never had that much work. Only now at an older age. Yeah. It's so much easier and better to make money with money instead of labor. So the other topic I wanted to talk about is I've been thinking about expanding a little bit of content as far as like looking forward to when the house is done. But I could always start a little earlier while the house is still going. I'm thinking about maybe one day a week Just drive out into the province, into the mountain here, and pick a province Filipina and just kind of interview her, see like what her life has been like, what she would like for her future, all those types of things. So I may try that once or twice and see if people like it. You have to have money to make money. Yeah, but it's not that hard to make some money. Everybody likes to say like, oh, I live paycheck to paycheck and I work 80 hours a week and don't hardly have any money. Well, you live in the wrong damn area of the country or something. Because I'm from Missouri and I was a single guy. I owned a house, which when I bought my house, it was $63,000 because it was a pile of shit. And I completely rebuilt that house inside and out. But when I sold that house, it was $160,000. And I lived there 7 years. But anyway, I worked a normal job. I was a salaried position. I was the maintenance director and life safety manager of a nursing home facility. I made $43,600 a year before taxes. So my bring home was $1,380 every 2 weeks. So about $2,700 a month. And I live just fine. I'm in the Philippines right now. So, I mean, I don't understand how people say that they can't make money or they don't have enough. Just move to a cheaper area. I don't live somewhere where you're spending $5,000 a month to live. Or live cheaper. I mean, sacrifices have to be made for the things that you want. Dad, stop that! Stop it! Shut up! 20 grand. What's the best way to make money with it? Well, do you want a risky way or a safe way? Safe way would be put every damn dime of it in the S&P 500. And then when you get your dividends and all that, just roll them over. Just roll them over into the same account. And leave it alone for 20 years and see what you got. Nav erosion. I don't even know what that is. No, Just Move is very cognizant of people's situations. That's not... I've been in a lot of situations. I guess there's some situations where someone would be stuck, but I mean, it depends on what you're willing to do. If you're willing to live in a damn tent in somebody's woods without them knowing, or, so I mean, anybody can just pack up a backpack and hit the highway on foot, take the damn Shoelace Express, and just change your life to a different spot. I mean, it all depends on what you're willing to sacrifice. Do I know Tim K? No, I don't. No, I don't. The thing about being in the Philippines and being a U.S. citizen is after you've been here a while and you get used to how everything is and you've seen everything there is to see, you start to get a little bit of an itch. You start to think about, man, I could be making so much money if I just went back to the U.S. and worked for another year. I could have so much more money. So it's very tempting sometimes to just go back for a while. So I can understand. Plus, his wife probably wanted to go. Yeah, Fidelity's okay. SoFi has a high yield savings account that's paying like 4.4%. Yeah, but trading options is risky. Trust me. I made it out with a profit, but not everyone will. Who are like 20 with no income. There's no excuse for having no income. The job market might be trash, but you can still, maybe it's different where you live. I can't speak to that. I can only speak to where I'm from. And where I'm from, you can throw a rock in any direction and hit a factory that's hiring almost anyone who will walk through the door and paying them $20 an hour. Is it good work? No, it's hard. It's hard, shitty, hot, dirty work, but it's money. Anybody can find a job if they just walk into a Domino's, walk into a Taco Bell or whatever. I mean, you can get. My daughter just got a job 2 weeks ago at 19 years old at freaking Domino's. So it just depends. Happened to your trading sessions. When AMD tanked, it made me a bit nervous because I had bought 200 shares at 125, and it it tanked all the way down to like $79 a share. So almost half of my money on paper was gone. But I did what I always told everyone else to do: pick a company that you have faith in and just wait. So I did. I waited. And when the strike price went over 125, I breathed a sigh of relief. I sat back for a few days and thought about it. The strike price went up to 132, and I said, okay, that's it. And I sold all my shares at 132 and made a few $1,000s profit. But that tanking down to 79 bull crap, I don't want to go through that again. So wife's sister. Yeah, take in what factories don't require a 4-year RN, registered nurse. All the factories in Missouri, boat factories, there's Armstrong Products that makes like wood veneer crap. There's all where I live around Springfield, Missouri, there's like 12 boat factories that builds like pontoon boats for Bass Tracker or Bass Pro Shop. Like, I mean, all you need is a high school diploma. You walk in there with a high school diploma at 18 years old, you got a job. That's it, $20 an hour. And in southern Missouri, $20 an hour is enough to live on your own without a second income. DoorDash, the hell with that DoorDash crap. I can make more money shoveling gravel than DoorDashers can make. I know. Construction workers are making $25 an hour right now. I afforded groceries for my family. I owned a house, 2 trucks, about $10,000 worth of tools, and I made $2,700 after taxes a month. I mean, I don't understand. Look like your brother. Well, I'm sorry for that. House is looking great. Yeah, it's coming along. Married to her? Nope, not married. Oh, yeah. Just did an options trade today. A few thousand in premium. NVIDIA. Yeah. Food is very cheap for foreigners. They can buy and eat whatever they want. Well, as you can probably imagine by my fatness, food has always been one of my biggest expenses. Yeah, I'm big. What made you not choose a more developed area of the Philippines? Okay, so I'm going to answer that question, but I can answer it in one of two ways. So I can answer it from the deep down, darkest soul part of the truth, or I can answer it in the fluffy, nice way of, oh, I met a girl and I moved here for her. The truth is, I came here on vacation the month of June last year, or the year before. And so when I came here, no, it was June of last year, I traveled around a lot. I went to Bohol, I went up in the other section of the island of Bohol. I came down here. I went with her to do her work, so I went way out in the province. And honestly, the reason why I chose this area is because there's not that many foreigners. I don't want to be here surrounded by foreigners. I just don't. The gap between the roof and wall must be rodents. It's not, okay. So just like an American house, there will be a soffit, metal soffit that goes across there. I'm going to put vents in it. So it'll be a vented soffit. Yeah, the no BS reason is because I wanted to be in an area where there's not any other foreigners. I don't want to be around other foreigners. Yeah, my old videos was basically me searching for some way to not trade hours of my life for a living. I've always thought it was kind of BS for someone to trade the most valuable thing they possess, which is time, in order to live. You only have one life. Whether you believe in an afterlife or not, the time right here, the physical time that you have, is all you're going to get in the existence that is you. I didn't buy the land, it was given to us by her mother. 2,686 square meters for free. An egotistical statement. Which statement is that? Yeah, okay. But still, the time that you have here presently is limited. You're only going to get one shot. Yeah, we get along pretty good. Army veteran. I told my son is one of those, I don't know, not really like a drifter, but he really doesn't want to work that much. And he's just kind of like, I don't know, just waiting around for nothing. I don't know. I told him I don't know how many times to join the damn army, but he won't do it. Why are you carrying their stuff around? You should make them do it. You're bigger than them. Don't be scared. Water storage and pressure tank. Well, the pressure tank there's no water storage per se other than the well. And the pump and pressure tank are going to go out there at the well, and I'll have to build a little building around them. Okay, so Oscar, worried that once the house is done, she'll kick you out and you're out all that money. No, I'm not worried about that because I'm not stupid, okay? Go back and look at some of my earlier videos, like 6 months ago. I showed my lease agreement. I took me, her, and her mother all went to an attorney in Sindongan. And we sat down and did the deed transfer paperwork to Alona. Then I had the attorney do a 50-year lease agreement that basically says they can't make me leave for any reason. They can't sell the land, they can't lease the land, I can't sublease the land, and I can't sell the land, but otherwise I have full control. No, I can't be made to leave because I'm not a stupid foreigner. And I'm sorry, but all those foreigners that have built a house and then gotten kicked out of it are stupid. They just are. I'm sorry. And if I live to be 91 when the lease expires and then she kicks me out, well, I guess I won't have to worry about it much. And if they had any kind of ill intentions, they wouldn't have signed a 50-year lease. No, I'm in the Philippines. Good night from London. All right, good night. Peter. It happens often enough that people should be aware enough to be smart. Water filtered. Yes, I have 4-stage filter. The first stage is a 10 micron, then a 5 micron, then a 1 micron, and then a 0.5 micron. So I have a 4-stage filtration system. Yeah, I mean, I know it might seem nice to get one of the city Filipinas that know English really well and understand the world a little better and are kind of modern or whatever, but it's risky. It's a lot more risky than going out into the province and just plucking one out of nothing. How are the chickens? Well, the chickens are over at the house. I'm busy, and the chickens are really low on my priority list right now. They're basically just raised to be fighting chickens anyway. So eventually one day they'll be killed fighting. So I pretty much told Kim that he can just take care of them over there, and pretty much gave them to him, I guess. Kinda. Yes, I do have a plan for a garden. In fact, I brought some heirloom seeds from America to here. I know, you're not really supposed to, but I did. So I can grow American heirloom tomatoes, Boston pickling cucumbers, strawberry watermelon. When are we starting the floors? After everything else is done. The walls have to be painted. Everything is done. Been to Palawan. No, I thought about going to Puerto Princesa like a couple of times, but we went to Boracay and it was okay, but not that great either. Sell seeds to us. I mean, I don't have to sell them. Once I start growing them, they're heirloom seeds, so I can keep saving seeds from the plants. And if you're in this area, just come get some. I'll give you some seeds. Strawberry watermelon. So the watermelons are only about like this big, but they're super red and super sweet. Attic access. Yes, there will be attic access out in the soffit. There will not be attic access inside the house, but through the soffit there will be an access panel. Alright guys, I'm going to give just a couple of minutes here for everyone to get kind of their last comments out, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this because I have to route that bathroom. Would I eat balut for $100? Absolutely not. No. I've always said that's one thing. I'm not putting that in my mouth. No way. That's one thing I won't do. Not only would I not do it for $100, honestly, this is no BS. I wouldn't do it for $1,000. I'd probably do it for $5,000, but I wouldn't even eat balut for $1,000. The food is the thing that I hate the most about the Philippines. I do not like the food here. Not good. If you like fish and vegetables, then you'd love it, but I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and it's not, I do not like the food here. All right, wrapping it up. Good night, Brad. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this monthly cost of living where I'm at now. Like, I don't know, I would have to sit down and figure it out, but maybe like $400. It's really not much. And most of that's because the damn Starlink is $65 a month. Well, I've been to Manila, I've been to Cebu, I've been to Bohol, I've been to Boracay. I've been to a lot of places, and I don't like any of the food hardly. Like, I like adobo and stuff like that, but that's because it's more like Americanized Chinese food rather than this. Barangay captain. I don't think you're allowed to be. Not only that, but people wouldn't like it much because I can't speak their language, and half of them can't speak English, so it wouldn't work out very good. Alright guys, I gotta get to work. Take it easy.